This is Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. We are the #1 business show on the planet with over 1 million downloads a month. Taking the BS out of business for over 6 years and over 400 episodes. You ready to start snapping necks and cashing checks? Well, it starts right about now.
Right about now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Right About Now. I'm Ryan Alford, your host, and it is our weekly marketing and business news of the week here on April 5th, 2024. As always, joined by my good friend, Chris Hanson, down in the Vacay Lounge in Miami. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Ryan? How are you today, my man?
Hey, man. It is, spring is here, around the corner. The weather's good. You know, cleaning up the old houseboat, got all the stuff going on that makes me feel like, you know, the weather is turning. Life is good. How are you?
I'm great, man. Hearing you talk like that, I'm just thinking of making a trip up to Greenville.
Yeah.
I'd like to experience some seasons.
Yes.
But no complaints.
The seasons are changing. We have the garden going at Chateau Alford. Got some tomato plants, got some okra, planted a little garden behind our garage. So we're going to see how that goes. See if myself and the boys can keep the plants alive. Luckily, we have a sprinkler system, so hopefully that assists in some of it, you know, but we'll see how it goes. Got that all in. Got to hope that we don't get any of that cold weather that can hit in South Carolina. You know, don't need freezing nights like freezing my plants out, but
yeah, we
will see how it goes. You know, it will forever be the Vacay Lounge down there in Miami. It's like, you know,
we got no seasons down here, baby.
Exactly. Is it heating up or what in Miami?
It's heating up a little bit, but honestly, it's perfect. It's been breezy and sunny the last 4 or 5 days. So
yes,
soaking it up before it gets hot.
We are updating our studio here at our facility, the room behind me, and much larger studio space being transitioned. Sawyer's hard at work, just bringing it to life. So getting pumped about that. It's going to feel like we're truly a show, Chris. You know, it's getting real.
I'm ready for it.
And, you know, speaking of shows and podcasts, you know, this is interesting. You know, we're a marketing and business show. And this is as much business as anything. It's the latest podcast data as it relates to ad buying and other things like that. And basically what we're seeing is podcast reach with the 18 to 34 segment is now equal to television. So we're right almost in equal proportion to the number of people listening, number of 18 to 34s that listen to podcasts and that watch television. And let's just say one of those numbers is going up and one of them is going down. So this comes to us from Westwood One. It wasn't that long ago that marketers dismissed podcasts for lacking scale. No longer. Among 18 to 34-year-olds, podcast weekly reach from Edison's 2024 Edison dial is nearly as large as TV. It's 48% to 50%. We'll just go ahead and call that equal. The big player in 18 to 34 weekly reach is AM FM radio at 77%. The FM radio data is sourced from Nielsen, comparable metrics, from Q3 of 2023. So basically, podcasts now are taking over the media mind of, you know, pretty large dibbo there, 18 to 34s. I don't think that surprises us, does it, Chris?
No, I was going to say I just turned 35. In my world, definitely way more people are using podcasts than turn on TV.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're watching content, on social media, but then listening, to podcasts while they work out, while they drive, walk on the beach, whatever they do, is sort of like that passive experience when they're doing other things, walking around the house, cleaning up, doing things where, you might used to throw on the TV and you're sort of watching it, listening to it, whatever that might be, or sitting down. I just don't think this demo sits down and watches television. The media habits have changed, and I see it. I'm not in the demo. I'm a little outside of it, but my habits have changed as well. Like I catch like an hour of TV like before bed. Yeah. Unless it's live sports. And so, we're going to talk about that, another big data point. But I think you're going to continue to see media habits change, and certainly podcasting is on the rise and getting higher. The interesting thing, I think the data point is going to be as we see this evolution, and, we're doing this with our shows, like the audio and video thing, the YouTube, versus audio, like audio podcasts on Apple, on Spotify versus watching it. Rogan's got huge numbers on YouTube, and some of the larger podcasts have large numbers of, being watched. But I think this intersection that we're at is going to be fascinating to watch for how people consume content and the ways and mediums with which they do it. Because again, a lot of people have their face in the phone, so they might be watching YouTube, or listening to YouTube music or something like that. There's this really crazy intersection happening. You consider yourself a huge YouTuber?
Yeah. Now, yeah.
Do you watch long form, or is it more like you're looking for something and you search and then you watch something?
I'm more searching for certain topics.
Yeah.
And I really don't like the long form. I prefer like a, say, 30-minute max. But there's some shows, some guys that I do, I follow what they do, and I'll watch some of their interviews if it's someone I'm really interested in. And I learn a lot. I mean, it's amazing. I think they're great. It's just the trade-off with time, But yeah, I mean, dude, I use it. If it's not music, it's YouTube, between Spotify and YouTube all day, really.
Yep. Do you still listen to radio? Like AM, FM radio, like when you're in the car?
No, and
that's why that was interesting to me, that 18 to 34, the largest reach. You got TV and podcasting almost equal, right on 50%. That's, radio is 77. That was interesting to me.
I don't know if I literally have people that hate the radio. They'll get in my car and be like, turn this off. I don't want to hear the ads. I don't want to leave it, or they don't like the music. There's so much access to music now. You're not at the will of the radio station to play with, whatever they want.
That was an interesting stat.
Time.
Yeah.
When's the last time you got in a car and someone doesn't immediately plug in their phone, right? If anything, to charge it. So your default already going to listen to something through the phone, whether it's YouTube, Apple.
Mine is either a podcast or satellite radio. Like I've got satellite radio and it's either like a sports talk or, one of the commercial free stations, like the new country station, like the Highway, which is on Sirius XM. Listen to that a lot. So that's interesting. I mean, probably, it shows like it's free, so it's still, so maybe that's part of it. The demo, like you get in the car, it's free access. So that makes a little bit of sense, but I think you're going to see that number come down. And I think, as a business, as you hear this data and how you, here's what, a lot of it went deeper in this article, some of the other stats, which is as you're thinking about your media mix, you need to have podcasts in there because this demo is listening to podcasts. And I'll just go ahead and tell you that it's a richer ad experience on podcasts than it is on TV or radio because you don't, especially the podcasts do it right. Like we do, live reads on our show that are just a little more organic. And I'm telling you, that impression is way different than just the interruption that is ads typically on TV and radio. And so that branded content within the medium is going to be the future of media. I think that's the takeaway here. And you have changing media habits overall. This article coming from us from Marketing Dive, PepsiCo. What's called Pepsi? PepsiCo, Pepsi Company, creates Flamin Hot brand to highlight fast-growing chip flavor. Finally, we're just a brand now. I thought they kind of already done this, but their Doritos and Cheetos maker said the platform will make it easier for consumers to find the 25 products within its portfolio that have the seasoning. PepsiCo has established Flamin Hot as its own brand within the beverage and snacking giants portfolio, the company said on Thursday. The Dorito and Cheetos maker said the Flamin Hot brand will make it easier for consumers to identify the offerings. The portfolio will initially include 25 unique products. Surprised I didn't more than that. I feel like I see it everywhere now.
Yeah.
I wonder what Chris and I host, shameless plug, good time to plug it in. Chris and I host a show called Vibe Science. Go check that out, vibescience.media or vibesciencepodcast.com. We talk about overall health and wellness. And I'd love to know the gut impact of the Flamin Hot brand.
That's all I've been thinking about this whole time. And I know it's been a big issue with kids. Like it's been talked about.
Yeah.
With these young kids eating this super spicy Cheetos and they're getting gut issues.
It's got to be, right? It just, and I like it. Like I like hot stuff. I can't eat it every day.
No.
And sometimes when I eat it, I'm like, I kind of regret it, but it's
what you're getting into at this stage.
I know what I'm buying into.
It's a calculated risk where you already know, kind of what's coming.
It's interesting how the taste and the, I don't know, it's something to be said about this brand and just the overall dynamic of flavor and changing times. But nonetheless, you see the Flamin Hot everywhere. It's its own brand now. And I just hope they don't come back out with the Flamin Hot Mountain Dew. This seems like a flamethrower right there.
Mountain Dew with cayenne pepper in it, essentially.
Yeah. Now, I could see a Flamin Hot vodka, like for your Bloody Mary.
Fireball vodka version.
Like your Bloody Mary having a Flamin Hot. Okay, there's a free idea for you, PepsiCo.
For the Tabasco.
Yeah, but these sub-brands, start to take on a life of themselves. And, now you have whole teams. That's what this tells me. You got whole teams just working on Flamin Hot. I'm on the Flamin Hot brand team for PepsiCo.
It's wild. It shows you what taste preferences are kind of evolving, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But the gut impact, I would love to know. We'd have to get a doctor on to tell us on Vibe Science what the gut impact, like what happens in the gut when you eat a bag of these.
Hot. You already know it's processed, not healthy food. Cheetos regular.
Yes.
You add in, who knows, some synthetic hot seasoning.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So, wonder how much Flamin Hot will be consumed over the weekend of the Final Four. Yes, it is a Final Four. Didn't mention that at the top of the hour, but, the Final Four. Clemson did lose in the Elite Eight. I was disappointed, but good season. Made it to Elite Eight. Would never thought they'd make it there. I was sweating bullets a little bit just because I told my kids if Clemson made the Final Four, we'd go to Arizona. And it was less the monetary and more the practicality of just getting there. Time investment. It was
the logistics.
Logistic challenge. And so, but I would have made it come through if we'd made it. And so you have UConn, NC State, and you have Purdue, and you have Alabama. So Alabama and UConn play Purdue and NC State. You got one Cinderella in there, even though they probably really aren't Cinderella, NC State. The others were pretty much top 3 rankings, and I think we might ultimately see UConn and Purdue, but we'll see what happens. That's this weekend. And ratings have been high. Live sports have been high. I think it's a good time to bring up the point that just the other night, it was this week, Iowa and LSU played. Caitlin Clark could not come up with her name last week. I feel bad. She's obviously a superstar. Just could not. Didn't want to look up in the middle of it. But Caitlin Clark in the Iowa Hawkeyes, Angel Reese, who plays for LSU, both big influencers, big stars. It set the women's basketball games ratings record. It beat out what I saw was like several NBA games, like the NBA Finals last year. Like this game had higher ratings. Monday night's Elite Eight showdown between Caitlin Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes and Angel Reese's LSU Tigers set the all-time ratings record for a women's basketball game, according to ESPN. More than 12 million people tuned in to watch the much-hyped rematch of last year's championship game, which saw Iowa avenge the loss and advance to its second straight Final Four. The audience peaked at 16.1 million viewers, according to ESPN. So this was rated higher than several of the NBA Finals game last year. It had higher ratings than several bowl games, like the big bowl games from this past year. So I think it will be interesting. I do think that with the product in women's basketball has gotten a lot more athletic, a lot more interesting. Caitlin Clark shooting it like Steph Curry all over the court. It's kind of a lightning rod. Be interesting if it holds on to this. I don't know who next year, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, were popular last year. They carried over into this season. I'm not sure who those stars are that are arising for next year. So it'll be interesting if this holds, if this is just like a lightning rod moment for these certain players, or if it's going to hold overall. But what I do think it is a sign of is content on TV content's gotten shitty in a lot of ways, but live sports still brings the heat. And the tournament basketball atmosphere, the one and done, the sudden death nature of it, combined with these stars, make for compelling theater. And, the advertisers have taken advantage of it, the people see it. And I think, our viewing habits have changed a lot, but live sports still holds and is growing in magnitude. I think it's related to just a lot of the other content isn't great. And there's just still compelling interest in athleticism and sports and games and things like that. So, but crazy that the basketball game had ratings higher than many of the more popular sports generally in the U.S.
Yeah, it's wild. That's big numbers. And I would say you can maybe attribute some to social media and these people's brands where people are more intimately kind of connected, they feel, following these athletes.
100%.
So they're a little bit more invested. And what popped in my head, women's sports has been talked about a lot the last 2 years in a lot of negative ways, right?
Yep.
I think there's more pride in women's sports now because of all that.
Yep.
Not to get political.
Right.
But
exactly.
it's another outline.
I think that's
factor,
right. And I do think you nailed it with the social media stuff. Social media halo from these players who are influencers in and out of the sport.
Yeah.
Helps elevate it, bring different audiences to it. And I mean, in a similar way, but a little different just because of how big she is, like Taylor Swift and the NFL thing, her popularity,
in my mind.
Elevating the overall product because of how popular she is in general. And so it will be interesting how it carries over. But I think, takeaway, if this name, image, and likeness thing with college athletes and sports, I'll just say I don't love the me nature of some of this, but if you watch the game, both of these players, like Caitlin Clark's probably one of the best passers I've ever seen in women's basketball. Like, yes, she scored like 40 points, but she had like 14 assists. And Angel Reese's overall game, like elevated the team. But the big thing here is if you have a star athlete, if you have someone growing up, there's this balance of star credibility and, raising the brand, like how you encourage, if you have a star athlete or a child growing up, encourage them to utilize social media to grow their leverage while keeping them grounded. And that's a delicate balance in the world we're in. But I'll just say, with great following comes great leverage. And so you got to sort of play the game, and it helps create leverage with sponsors and monetary outlets and different things because, Caitlin Clark's going to go to the WNBA next year, but she's already signed some major deals, on the sponsor front. She's not playing small ball here. We're talking Gatorade, Nike, the big players. And so it's going to be interesting to see where it all goes, but good for them and good for these players getting the recognition they deserve for all the work they're putting in. But they're making it a more exciting product. They're making it more interesting. That game was fascinating. It was back and forth. I watched a lot of it, and it was just back and forth, back and forth. It was like 90-something, 80-something. I mean, like tons of scoring. And, I would watch women's basketball 10 years ago, and even being a basketball guy, like wanting to be into it. And it was just kind of like, store fest because it just wasn't that interesting. But the athletes are better. The action's better. Scoring's better. It's a lot better product. And so be interested to see if they could keep the star power rolling and thus keep the ratings up. And if you want to learn from me directly, join my newsletter, ryanalford.com/newsletter. Sign up. I give daily advice on marketing, personal branding, podcasting, life. Give that a shout. Join that. It's free. It's daily. Just like this show, give away our best advice. Another article coming for us from CNBC. Would-be Tesla buyers snub company as Musk's reputation dips. The ranks of would-be Tesla buyers in the U.S. are shrinking, according to a survey by market intelligence firm Caliber, which attributed the drop in part to CEO Elon Musk's polarizing persona, while Tesla continued to post strong sales growth last year, helped by aggressive price cuts. The electric vehicle maker is expected to report weak quarterly sales as early as Tuesday. I had this thought, staying out of the politics and anything like that. I did have this epiphany a little bit, especially as it relates to Tesla. Elon's gone a little right, I would say, or a lot right in a lot of ways. And when you think about like the historic Tesla buyer, that persona, I don't know about you, but like it was always a little bit of that. And I don't intentionally mean to be sexist here. I'm just going to call it a guy. I know there's women too. I'm just going to call them guys right now. I'm a guy. I'm a dude. So that Tesla guy, to me, was always a little on the other side of where Elon seems to be leaning these days. Like, I'll just say that.
Very well put. I was hanging on the edge waiting for it.
But like a little frou-frou, I'll just say. And he's gotten, I don't know, like, I think some of the shit he does is stupid. And then some of the stuff I'm like, I firmly clap and believe in. So it's not an all or nothing with me with him. Yeah. I respect him for voicing his opinion. I think he's a little nuts sometimes, but he's obviously smart as hell on a lot of things. But I'll just say the historic Tesla guy I know, that Tesla guy that I've seen and known for a while, I'm not a Tesla guy. I was a Tesla guy before. I'm not one now. He always reminded me of kind of a hard left Democrat. I don't know why. I way before this got political, it's just where my mind would go. Like, how would you describe a Tesla buyer?
Kind of were.
What's that?
Just like a Prius buyer, but with more taste and maybe some more
a little more money and a little more taste. It's just a
And they
little
love
bit
Apple
like,
products.
I got my Tesla. I think I'm cool. And it just seemed like sort of like some of my Democrat friends. Yet, so everything Musk has done has been a little bit more to the right. And I hate to make it this political comparison because I'm not a political creature, but it's just, so some of this doesn't surprise me that Tesla sales might be off with Elon seemingly showcasing more right-leaning tendencies.
Trucks,
yeah.
If he was selling pickup trucks right now, he'd probably be doing very well.
Yes.
Like not electric ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. I would love to know. No one's talking about it, I think, in those terms. But when I read this, that's kind of where my mind went. I'm like, okay, well, what's causing that? Well, yeah, Elon's kind of being an idiot. People getting a little like, okay. But then you think about the core audience. And that guy I want to punch sometimes when he walks by me in the grocery store. Sorry, just being honest. He gets into a Tesla every time. I don't know why. It's like he comes out and like I feel like he thinks he's better than everyone. And
I've had a lot of negative experiences with Tesla drivers.
It's just no one. I don't know that many people that own Teslas, but no one do I know that well is a Tesla owner is like my bud. It's kind of like, I don't know. And that has nothing to do with politics and more to do with sort of the air about them. And I think that person would be put off by the Elon Musk we've been seeing lately. Just a hunch. Yeah. So this doesn't completely surprise me. And then I don't think, maybe the crowd with which he's been attracting lately is a natural, well, I want to go buy an electric Tesla guy or girl. Just observations.
I like a lot of what Elon says, but no part of me wants to go get a Tesla,
No, me either. Now the Tesla, the Cybertruck, I don't know if I could pull it off or want to pull it off. It's a little out there, but it's kind of fun.
I agree.
Like that's like the closest thing. And I don't think I can pull that off or would, but it's like sort of fascinating to me. Like
be cool for like 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly right. I'd enjoy it for 6 months, be like novel, but the rest of it.
Like a toy, literally. You'd be like, oh, this is a fun toy for 6 months. And now let's get back to reality.
Yes. Well, the wealthy keep getting wealthier. According to CNBC, the wealth of the 1% just hit a record 44 trillion. The wealth of the top 1% hit a record 44.6 trillion at the end of the fourth quarter as an end-of-year stock rally lifted their portfolios. It's all according to data from the Federal Reserve. The total net worth of the top 1%, defined by the Fed as those with wealth over 11 million, increased by 2 trillion the fourth quarter. All the gains came from their stock holdings. The value of corporate equities and mutual fund shares held by the top 1% surged to 19.7 trillion. While their real estate values went up slightly, the value of their privately held businesses declined, essentially canceling out all other gains outside of stocks. So, stock market, prop it up, the wealthy. Not shocking.
No.
As the stock market goes, so goes the wealthy. And I don't know where the stock market's headed. I'm not but it just seems inflated. Seems that way. How's the old Bitcoin doing?
Stable. I mean, it's still up. It's still up, but not. It's been a little quiet the last 2 weeks in the crypto market. I mean, it's still, varying, say 5% here and there, like a day. But
how about those meme coins? Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more volatility on those. I'm watching a few of those, and my guys are always telling me, just wait. We're not even close to the pump yet. So,
all right.
Let's see,
I feel like it's like the meme coin stuff is like the same. Like whether it's 1 million people or 5 million people or 1,000 people, I feel like it's the same group of them that half of them start selling, and half of them are buying, and it's like And until there's like this huge influx of, I don't know, kind of like what we saw with the, the movie theater stock or whatever, like something pumps and brings
GameStop.
in the natural market, the GameStop, like something like some news or something just creates other money that comes in. You just have this tug of war between existing like holders.
That's exactly how it feels right now. It's in that tug of war. No one's making big moves, but I think you're going to have, more institutional news come out, with these ETFs and JP Morgan and Bitcoin specifically, it's going to bring more of your general retail investor interest in, and not, just techie people.
Yeah.
So
speaking of money, the world's celebrity billionaires. Forbes puts out their list of the rich and famous. This is just all about the money. This is the money episode. Money in sports, money in stocks, and money with the celebrity billionaires. So, this is Forbes' latest list. Taylor Swift accomplished a feat no other mission had before. She became a millionaire, primarily off of the earnings from her music and performances. What else would it be off of? Okay. 3 months later, Forbes named television tycoon Dick Wolf a billionaire too, thanks to his $1.9 billion career earnings from producing shows like Law and Order and FBI. The two entertainers bring in even more star power to Forbes' World's Billionaires list, which has been seen an explosion in celebrity billionaires in recent years. 10 of the 14 A-listers on the rankings have become billionaires in the past 4 years, spurred by entertainers capitalizing on their brand and fame. Yes, and the power of social media, like we talked about. Now, James Cameron was big on the list, and so was as the creator of Star Wars. Creator of Star Wars was number one on the list. Like his value had increased. Number one. So, which is not surprising with the popularity of that and all the offshoots that you're seeing. But back to Taylor Swift. She's a billionaire, baby. Can't shake that off. So, I mean, it's a lot of damn money, man. And
when you're doing concerts like that on that type of scale.
Yeah, her concerts last year, it was like I saw 200 million, right at like $191 million. That's what she made. That's a lot of money, man. But you know what? Those Swifties, man, those people, it is intense.
They're good customers.
They are good customers, man. I got to get me some Swifties. Like,
It's a gang.
It's a gang,
Literally,
man. They are a gang. They carry chains and ropes and guns, and they're ready to get you if you talk bad about her, if you don't do something. Like, do not mess with Taylor Swift.
Travis Kelce ever wronged her, bro?
Yeah, no, he's screwed. He's
not safe anywhere.
He's not safe anywhere. I mean, you kidding me? He's gonna get like 47 Swiftie moms like jump on him. That's what I mean. She's got Swiftie dads. She's got Swiftie moms. She's got Swiftie kids. Like it's full gamut, making her a billionaire.
She's got an army.
Yeah. And look, she's smart as hell. She does it. She works it. She goes to these schools. She shows up at places. She knows how to. And look, I don't think it's all an act. I think some of it's like she's from the South. She's got some genuine like humanity to her, combined with this star power. And it's like the brightest light shining higher. And she's a billionaire. And so good for Travis. I'm proud of him. He's no dummy. He's no dummy. Look, she's attractive and talented. So, and a billionaire. What does she have? She's got a lot of shit going for her. Let's be honest. No matter how much I do or don't listen to her music. I respect the hell out of the game, though. Damn. Mm-hmm. just want some gang people like those Swifties, you know? It is a gang. We close out today with a fun little segment team put together. The best of April Fool's pranks. It was April 1st this week. Got some fun ones here. You know, it was April 1st was on a Monday this year, and it was right after Easter. Sometimes it sneaks up on me, so I don't know it. But like this one didn't sneak up on me. So like I knew that I was just aware that it was April 1, like the morning I woke up. So sometimes I don't know until you see things and you might fall for it. So I would really fallen. But these are pretty funny. Ahead of April Fool's, 7-Eleven hinted at a possible prank product. In addition to new lemon lime, green apple, and sweet orange flavored 7 Select sparkly waters. Out now with partner Miracle Seltzer, there's a 4th flavor coming April 1st. Big Bite Hot Dog. Sparkling water. You'll see we'll have some of the visuals up for this on the video content, but it's quite funny. Big Bite Hot Dog. Sparkling water. Does not sound tasty. Keeping it with the soda, despite the proliferation of crazy flavored products, including Peeps flavored Pepsi, Frank's Red Hot Sauce flavored pickles, and Doritos nacho cheese flavored liquor, healthy soda brand Olipop. I had one of those last night. Actually, they're pretty tasty. And Pringles are not really teaming up to bring sour cream and onion soda. So they had a release that said they were. Product would have been a match made in heaven to bring direct tangy flavor of Pringles sour cream and onion flavor to life in a liquid form with prebiotic benefits. So that's not happening, but it was quite nice looking can. Olipop. You an Olipop guy?
Yeah, I like it.
I had a ginger ale last night. It was pretty tasty.
Yeah,
pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Stoner Lingo translation app. Another Dream Team product. Prank product. Rosetta Stoned. I see what they did there.
That's good.
A mobile app from Rosetta Stone and medical marijuana company Fluent that bridges the conversational gap between novice users and seasoned stoners in any social setting. Rosetta Stoned. So, little app that's not really coming out, but hey, maybe they should come out with it. Hey, man,
Dictionary,
it's 420 somewhere. Just, I mean, you can come up with a lot of different ones. The Dada Decoder, infant equipment site Baby Quip, has its own language bridging Lark, the baby translator app to decode your baby's secret language. Say goodbye to restless nights as you decode your baby's coos and cries instantly, providing with you the understanding you need as a parent, all in one convenient app. It promised. The Dada. So you put it up while your baby's like making weird noises, and it was going to decode, tell you what it means. You know, parents be all over that shit. They should have sold. We should sell that for 89 cents. You know, and even say that it's a spoof. And you know what? I think people would buy it because it'd be like the baby go, and be like, "Oh, I love you so much, mommy." Oh God, they would eat that up, even if they knew it wasn't true. They would, extend reality. Omaha Steaks, meaty sprays. Omaha Steaks had its own personal care prank product, meaty spritz sprays with flavors such as Omaha Fog, Hog Haze, and Cockadoodle Dew. Wow. The world's first protein-infused flavor pack portable pump spray to enjoy all the mouth-watering flavors of Omaha Steaks. Meaty spritz.
That's creative.
Yeah. And finally today from Tinder with our April Fool's pranks. Who you going to call when ghosted? This new title at Tinder. Dating app Tinder announced a new April Fool's Day hiring quest for a vice president of ghost hunting to help combat one of dating's culture's most prevalent vices, ghosting. Practice inflicted on 78% of singles already in 2024. An untrue fact from Tinder. So they have a VP of ghosting as a new title that they're hiring. April Fool's VP of ghosting. You know, I wouldn't mind being that. I think it'd be funny. But there you have some of the pranks from April Fool's. Saw a few others, and again, I don't know what it was. Did you get fooled by anything?
Yeah, on Instagram, like first thing in the morning, kind of, didn't remember it was April Fool's. But I don't remember what it was. It was something, I just had to like read through it and I was like, oh, okay.
I saw 2 or 3 people. It was both guys and girls. It sort of hit my feed, or maybe it's my story or something that I follow. Like people that were saying I finally moved over to OnlyFans when they didn't. That seemed to be like it was like people you probably wouldn't expect. That seemed to be like an ongoing thing. I finally made my move over to OnlyFans. And so this seemed to be a girl's and a guy's ploy. But I saw that. I had woken up and I don't know what it was. I knew it was April 1. I was like, all right. I was ready for it. Came ready.
I can't be fooled today.
I can't be fooled today. I can laugh though. So it was humorous. So if nothing else.
Yeah. There was a lot of good stuff.
Exactly. Any final words, my friend?
Hope everyone has an excellent weekend.
Yes. Wherever you are, whenever you are, however you are, appreciate you for making us number one. You can find us at ryanisright.com for all the videos and highlight clips, some good video clips from today. We'll be improving that product as we move forward to the new studio. You can find Chris and I on Instagram, Chris Broby Hanson, and at Ryan Alford. Those links are also in the show notes. We appreciate everyone, and stay safe out there. We love you. We'll see you next time on Right About Now.
This has been Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. Visit ryanisright.com for full audio and video versions of the show, or to inquire about sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.